Transferable skills are skills learned in one place that are also applicable in another. Typically, people that play a lot of a certain genre of video game can become very proficient in all other games of that genre. People that are playing at a higher level than average in Apex Legends will likely also play at a higher level than average in Warzone. Aiming is more of a universal skill for first-person shooter games. But that's not quite what this video is about. This video is more about the transferable micro skills people use across games and transferable terminology that players use when they have experience in other games and communities. I will cover three main concepts in this video. Let's first look at poking. Poking is a common fighting game term that refers to attacking your opponent with non-committal attacks. This means safer and smaller moves. A jab is a poke. Poking is used to apply pressure on the opponent and put damage in, even in situations where you cannot get a huge combo. Poking, although safer, needs to be used carefully, as you can be punished should you time it wrong or whiff your attacks. This is terminology me and my friends have commonly been using in Apex Legends, a battle royale first-person shooter, so a totally different genre. In this context, poking refers to taking shots at another squad and putting damage in at range, which in turn applies pressure to them. Doing this prevents future pushes from that squad, as they will either spend time and resources healing, or they will push you anyway, but with a lower amount of health. Poking from a distance allows us to stay safe and minimize our risk. This is the equivalent of using a jab in a fighting game. I used the word punish earlier. Let me explain that. Whilst poking, you're simultaneously looking for a punish. This is when you catch the opponent out. Either they've used a move and it hasn't connected, or it's been blocked, leaving them vulnerable, or in the case of Apex Legends, they've overpeaked or stepped out entirely from their cover. In both instances, the opponent is now open to big damage, and it is your job to quickly recognize that mistake and punish them for it. Hard. Poking and punishing are both exercising a player's ability to understand the fundamentals of applying pressure, as well as the ability to process and act or react to new information quickly. I believe that having an overall idea of risk-reward at the forefront of your mind will generally improve your ability as a player across all games. Positioning refers, of course, to the player's position in the map, stage, or fight. A player with a good sense of positioning will understand where the danger zones are in any given area and be able to avoid them. This player will also be able to identify which positions will give them an advantage over the opponent. Good positioning is usually highly dependent on the immediate situation you find yourself in and requires independent and creative thinking. This will differ vastly from game to game, even from moment to moment, as the danger zones will constantly be shifting around. In fighting games, this is quite straightforward. Having your back to the wall is almost always bad, as the enemy can apply more and more pressure. You may spot players in Tekken sidewalking to reposition themselves so their back isn't against the wall anymore, leaving them in a more advantageous position. The trick here is picking when to reposition. You don't want to leave yourself open, as you cannot block when sidewalking, and the enemy might punish you with a tracking move. In Apex, it could be said that the opposite is true. Having your back to the zone could sometimes provide safety, as it eliminates a possible direction the enemies could come from. However, positioning like this could also sometimes hinder you, as you're limiting your options for escape. This is what I meant when I said positioning could be highly dependent on your situation. Overall, this skill, wherever it is applied, requires sharp analytical skills and the ability to make executive decisions for future outcomes, not immediate solutions. In dire situations, however, you may find that you need to give up a strong position for survival, or for the winning blow. For me, there's a clear personal link between ideas and skills found in fighting games that I carry over into other genres of games. I'm curious what kind of skills you feel you have picked up and taken with you into other games. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it insightful and interesting. Please don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.